Good morning and welcome to the breakfast news from the studio of DD News Meghalaya. We hope you are ready to start your day with the latest headlines. Before we look at the news in detail, here are today's top headlines. Meghalaya Cabinet approves Electric Vehicle Policy 2026. Buyers to get 25,000 incentive and free registration to boost green mobility. Cabinet approves 22.27 crore land compensation for power transmission line, clears key infrastructure and administrative proposals. NEHU stakeholders hopes for administrative revival as new Vice-Chancellor reviews long pending issues and stakeholder demands. A 38-year-old man allegedly abducted and stabbed to death in Mau Kasiang. Police launch investigation into motive behind attack. Donor Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia reviews USP initiative to transform Northeast products into global brands through value addition and market linkages. Now let us take a look at the news in detail. First, the local news. The Meghalaya Cabinet has approved the Meghalaya Electric Vehicle Policy 2026, offering an incentive of 25,000 and free vehicle registration for buyers of electric two-wheelers, three-wheelers and four-wheelers. The government is also considering additional benefits under the state's vehicle scrappage policy. Briefing the media on Monday, PHE Minister Marquis N. Marak said the state currently has over 5,000 electric vehicles and commercial charging stations will be established to promote wider EV adoption. The Cabinet also approved the conversion of the New Shillong Township Development Agency into the New Shillong Development Authority to strengthen planning and development of the township. On the recent flooding along the Assam-Meghalaya border, Marak said the government is assessing the situation.
Cabinet has approved this electric vehicle policy 2026. Government of Meghalaya is promoting our people to go for electric vehicles. So therefore, Cabinet has approved the compensation of around 25,000. Whoever is going for an electric vehicle, 25,000 will be given as an incentive, and also free registration will be given. Totally the registration charge will not be required. Amendment to New Township Development Agency Rules 2012. So this has been amended, and now the government is Cabinet has passed as New Shillong Development Authority, hereinafter as the authority of NSDA, New Shillong Development Authority. So this is an authority now. It was an agency before, now it will be an authority.
The Cabinet has approved 22.27 crore as land compensation for a 6.5 kilometer 132 kV transmission line connecting the switching substation to the proposed Mau Khanu substation, aimed at strengthening the state's power infrastructure. The Cabinet also approved the extension of B.M. Wa's tenure as Chief Technical Advisor in the Power Department and cleared the setting up of a research wing under the Border Areas Development Department to support integrated development of border regions. Other decisions include amendments to the Meghalaya GST Act in line with GST Council recommendations and the nomination of ministers and senior officials to represent the government during Independence Day celebrations across district headquarters.
There was a stretch of around 6.5 kilometers transmission line which is being drawn the line to the switches, Maukanu substations. So there government has to acquire some plot of land there. So which government has already, cabinet has already approved. It's a stretch of 6.5 kilometers for 22 crores 37 lakh 83,729. So cabinet has approved this substation line. So Meghalaya border area Bado research wing is approved. Service will be framed and all the necessary formalities will start beginning. Extension of appointment of Chief Technical Advisor Generation in Power Department. It was Mr. B.M. War, retired Chief Engineer Civil, Meghalaya Energy Corporation Limited, will be, he will be continuing as Chief Technical Advisor Generation in Power Department.
Teachers, students and non-teaching staff of North Eastern Hill University have expressed hope that newly appointed Vice-Chancellor Professor S.K. Barik will restore normalcy after nearly 2 years of administrative challenges. On his first day in office, representatives of Nehuta, Nehusu and Nehunsa submitted separate memoranda seeking action on long-pending issues including key appointments, faculty and staff recruitment, promotions, timely convocations, campus infrastructure and academic administration. The acting Vice-Chancellor assured the stakeholders that their concerns would be examined and addressed on priority.
Yeah, I think we are hopeful and we do believe that the appointment of Sir Barik, which is coming as almost like a fresh appointment, although temporary in nature. I think he being from the university, I'm sure he knows everything what is going on in this university what was going on for the last 2 years plus. With his coming, I believe that all long pending issues will be resolved. And he being one of us from the university who have earned his bread and butter from this university, studied here, did his PhD and of course got a job here. I think there is definitely an element of attachment to this university, unlike Professor Shukla, who was totally detached from the university. So to that end, I would say that we as Nehuta are very hopeful that most of these issues that were long pending demands of the association will be taken care of in due course of time.
Now finally we have come to the day which is very fruitful. Now the incumbent Vice Chancellor Professor Shukla is no more in this campus, and we are very happy and pleased to announce that finally this Nehu is free from those professors who are not taking charge or who are not taking responsibility for any actions or any problems that the university had to face. So from the union side, we would like to thanks to all the members from Dorbar Shnong, to all the association, to all the unions from various committees. So a very thanks to all of them.
After nearly 2 years of administrative uncertainty, North Eastern Hill University has begun a new chapter under new Vice-Chancellor Professor S.K. Barik, who has pledged to restore stability and revive the institution's academic excellence. On his first day in office, Professor Barik met teachers, students and non-teaching staff, assuring them that resolving long-pending administrative issues and restoring normal functioning would be his top priorities. Professor Barik said NIHU can regain its reputation by strengthening academics, research, innovation and student welfare, while calling for the collective support of all stakeholders to rebuild the university's institutional credibility.
You see, I have been always a person who work in collaboration with all the stakeholders. So any decision if we take jointly, it is always better that two brains are better than one brain. So I believe in that philosophy. So whether it is the student body or it is the employees body or it is even the citizens, I would love to have a dialogue, have a discussion, and we find solution together so that is permanent, sustainable because our main objective is to take the university forward. We have to see that the objective for which the university has been established, that is achieved. So these are the administration bottlenecks, whatever the reason may be, in the past it has been created. We will try to address those from the roots. Then we settle down for our research and development works, community works, for which who is known. Most important is the education. Students should not suffer. So this will be our strategy, so that administration, yes, there has been problem, but I think if all of us we want, we will certainly find a very, very viable and sustainable solution. So the whole day today we have been discussing how to really act so that those issues which have troubled in the past, they don't come again. I am sure we will get a solution soon, and we will immediately take care of those issues and settle down to our main task, that is the academics, education, even societal work, hardcore R&D, for which Nehu has been known for past more than 50 years.
A 38-year-old man was allegedly abducted and stabbed to death, while 2 others were injured after 6 unidentified assailants reportedly took the trio to a forested area at Maukasiang on Sunday night. The deceased has been identified as Shanbor Rani of Lum Shiap. Nongmin Song, East Khasi Hills SP Vivek's aim said the 2 injured victims were rescued from separate locations and admitted to Negrims, while Shanbor's body was later recovered with multiple stab injuries. Police suspect the victims were abducted from Pinthor before being taken to Maukasiang. A case has been registered and an investigation is underway to determine the motive, including possible personal enmity or links to the drug trade. No arrests have been made so far.
Yes, we actually last night at about 10:30 a.m. there was one person who was stabbed, and he was found near the gate of BSF battalion, and BSF personnel took him to Negrims for treatment. Then there was he's undergoing treatment right now, and there was another report in the morning that of one body which was found in Maukasiang. He has multiple stab injuries. The body has been taken to Negrims for post-mortem examination. We are registering a case on this matter, and investigation will commence. The deceased is identified. His name is Shanbor Rani. In fact, he was also involved in many cases earlier on for offences of murder and under the NDPS Act. As of now, we cannot say what is this about, whether it has to do with anything to do with the drug trade or whether it's vendetta killing. Once we investigate, then we will be able to get some clue as to why this killing of Shanbor Rani happened.
2 youths were killed in a hit-and-run accident at Golf Link, Shillong, in the early hours of Monday. The victims have been identified as 18-year-old Benjamin Shabong of Maupun and 17-year-old Fabiola Grace of Pinthor. Speaking to the media, East Khasi Hills SP Vivek's aim said an unidentified vehicle allegedly rammed into the scooter they were travelling on at around 12:30 a.m. Both victims were rushed to Shillong Civil Hospital, where they were declared brought dead. Police have registered a case and launched a search to identify the vehicle and trace the absconding driver. Investigation is underway.
Hi porbikilap ki paibang tu hi tiki long kila shu thia madan tu te ngimla manong manubo pakla tad hadu ngin la yo hi kita kiba le kunu karkom kata accident re ngin sampai ru naka postmortem ru ka jinglong jingman jongki ha tu kapor desi kadon ne am kata jingdi alcohol ha tu kapor pada hujung opor kejing toket nak traffic side kita le ya ba menu bapakla andrei kawai kabalong tikna kaba yang mentahi ka FIR lawan kiliang juki tigi balaklat kaba driver hi uladi pen sange uladi ban surrender yang lebih mar hi andrei dah bomlek punta hi te kamot keladun kakal pulti mun kata kajing uthu baula baklam pasyayu la register case, but siyang lam kay kali ko lang involved.
The 1st Battalion of the National Disaster Response Force, in collaboration with the District Disaster Management Authority, JOI, yesterday organized a disaster management awareness and familiarization program at Kiang Nangba Government College. The program saw participation from the students, NSS volunteers, NCC cadets, Bharat Scouts and Guides, and government officials. NDRF personnel conducted practical demonstrations on first aid, CPR, search and rescue evacuation procedures, and emergency response, with similar awareness programs scheduled in Amlaram, Thatlasken, and Lasken blocks. District Disaster Management Officer Darimi Lingdo said the initiative aims to strengthen disaster preparedness among students and communities across the district.
So, this program is about formalization on disaster management, which have been requested from the side of the NDRF. And from our side, we are collaborating with them and the different line departments for this program. And in fact, this program started last week on the 21st and will end on the 30th this month. So in today's program, we have here the NSS, Bharat Scouts and Guides, and then NCC, students and government functionaries from different departments of the district, representing all the departments in the district for information of the NDRF. So the main objective of this program, like I said, we started this program last week, and we have covered different schools and localities within Joy and within different blocks of the district. So for tomorrow's day after tomorrow and Thursday, we will be covering Amara block, Laskai block, and Kalaskai block. The objective of this program is to make the students as well as the government functionaries aware on disaster management.
Now the regional news in detail. Union Minister for Development of North Eastern Region Jyotiraditya M. Scindia has reviewed the progress of the ministry's unique selling proposition USP initiative aimed at transforming Northeast India's distinctive products into globally competitive brands. Chairing the Parliamentary Consultative Committee meeting, Scindia said the initiative will focus on branding, value addition, processing, logistics, exports and market linkages for products identified by each state. The ministry is currently implementing flagship missions including Lakadong Turmeric Mission in Meghalaya, Muga Silk Mission in Assam, Kiwi Mission in Arunachal Pradesh and Queen Pineapple Mission in Tripura. Now the national news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacted with Pawan Chandana and Naga Bharat, Dhaka of Skyroot Aerospace, and discussed the success of Vikram 1, India's first privately developed orbital rocket. The Prime Minister said he was pleased to hear about their journey, experiences and future plans, adding that their energy, ambition and positivity reflect the growing strength of India's private space ecosystem. He also extended his best wishes to the entire Skyroot Aerospace team for their future achievements. The first direct commercial container freight train from Kolkata port to Biratnagar Customs Yard in Nepal has successfully completed its journey, marking a major milestone in India-Nepal rail connectivity. According to the Northeast Frontier Railway, the train carried a consignment of canola in 40 wagons under the revised India-Nepal Rail Transit Protocol, allowing direct rail movement without transshipment at the border. The new service is expected to reduce transit time, lower logistics costs and improve trade efficiency, further strengthening bilateral trade and cross-border rail connectivity between India and Nepal. Now the news and sports. Sharmila Dhankar created history by winning gold in the women's F57 shot put at Glasgow 2026 Commonwealth Games, becoming India's first ever Commonwealth Games para-athletics gold medalist. High jumper Sarvesh Kushare, weightlifters Valuri Ajaya Babu and Gayeshwari Yadav clinched silver medals, while Shilpa Shaila secured bronze in the women's F57 shot put. With these results, India's medal tally rose to 10, including 2 gold, 5 silver and 3 bronze. Meanwhile, boxer Lovlina Borgohain has also assured India of a medal after receiving a quarter-final bye in the women's 75 kg event.
मेडल लाके हमारे देश के लिए प्राउड फील हो रहा है और ऐसे ही हमारे देश का नाम ऊंचा करें। बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है। ये मेरा सपना था, मेरी माँ का सपना था और ये गोल्ड मेहनत से गोल्ड लेके आए हैं और मेरी माँ बहुत खुश होगी। मेरी माँ के लिए ये मेडल है मेरा। एशियन गेम की तैयारी है और आगे ओलंपिक की है। मेरा फर्स्ट मेडल है और आने वाले टाइम में और अच्छे मेडल लाती रहूँगी लॉन्ग टाइम तक।
Manipur Chief Minister Yumnam Kemchan Singh interacted with the state's Commonwealth Games medal-winning weightlifters Mirabai Chanu and Chanambam Rishikanta Singh through video conference and congratulated them for their outstanding performance at the international event. The Chief Minister expressed pride in the athletes' achievements and said their success has brought honour to Manipur and the nation. During the interaction, the CM assured all possible support and assistance to the athletes and highlighted the government's commitment towards promoting sports and encouraging young talents in the state. Now let's take a look at the weather report. First, let's take a look at the weather report in Tura. Minimum temperature 24 degrees Celsius, maximum temperature 31 degrees Celsius. The relative humidity is 86% and rainfall 3.6 millimeters. Moving on to Shillong. Minimum temperature 19 degrees Celsius, maximum temperature 26 degrees Celsius. The relative humidity is 88% and rainfall 6.1 millimeters. Meanwhile, in Jowai, minimum temperature 19 degrees Celsius, maximum temperature 27 degrees Celsius. The relative humidity is 91% and rainfall 2.9 millimeters. The forecast in Tura, Shillong and Jowai says moderate rain with thunderstorm likely to occur at many places. We have come to the end of the English News Bulletin, but before we wrap it up, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Meghalaya Cabinet approves Electric Vehicle Policy 2026, buyers to get 25,000 incentive and free registration to boost green mobility. Cabinet approves 22.27 crore land compensation for power transmission line, clears key infrastructure and administrative proposals. Nehu stakeholders hopes for administrative revival as new Vice Chancellor reviews long pending issues and stakeholder demands. A 38-year-old man allegedly abducted and stabbed to death in Maukasiang. Police launch investigation into motive behind attack. Donor Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia reviews USP initiative to transform Northeast products into global brands through value addition and market linkages. Thank you for watching the Breakfast News. Stay tuned for the Khasi News Bulletin coming up next. You can also follow us on our social media platforms to stay in touch with the latest headlines. This is Daphne Kharkongor. Take care and have a good day ahead.